Hello, children. So, today our topic is the somatic symptom and related disorders. Under this heading, children, there are three important disorders. We have the conversion disorders, somatic symptom disorder, and the illness anxiety disorder. When we come to the very first one, which is the somatic symptom disorder, you can see it on the very first slide that's been displayed, and you can also see the picture that's been given at the bottom. So the clear symptoms, also to say the features of the disorder, have been displayed in the four pointers. So generally, if you see this disorder, children, the person will have this continuous, persistent body related symptoms, you know and if you see that there'll be no medical condition, any serious medical condition that could be related to it, because if you see the heading somatic symptom and related disorders, usually in such kind of disorders, if you see, generally there are conditions where there are physical symptoms, but there is no physical disease as such. Probably you won't have a disease, but there will be some kind of physical symptoms that you'll constantly keep feeling, sensing. And there are psychological difficulties that usually people feel, and there are too many complaints that they have of physical symptoms. But whenever they go for a checkup or they consult a doctor, usually there is no medical condition, so to say, any serious disease diagnosed, but definitely there are physical symptoms that continue to persist. And so that's how this entire disorder is all about, all of this. So coming back to the first disorder, there is the persistent body related symptoms, and there is no serious medical condition to it. And they're always occupied, severely occupied, preoccupied with the symptoms, and they keep thinking about it a lot, and there is a lot of worry, you know and they have this tendency to visit the doctor time and again. So there are frequent visitations to the doctors, and a lot of distress and a lot of disturbances that people generally start feeling or sensing in their lives. So there's too much of complaint, that there are physical symptoms that my body is sensing, but of course when they visit the doctor, there are no such disease diagnosed or any serious medical condition diagnosed. Moving on to the next one, if you see, which is the illness anxiety disorder. Again, this is where again you will find that there is a preoccupation and a persistent preoccupation of developing a serious illness. So the person will continue to be occupied with these thoughts that there is some kind of a serious illness getting built in my body, you know and too much of worry, constant worry is there about the possibility of a serious illness getting developed. And there is a lot of anxiety. So, if you see in the first disorder, which I just explained, and the illness anxiety disorder, the difference is that in the illness anxiety disorder, there is a constant anxiety, you know, a lot of anxiety you will have about your own health, and they are very concerned about the underdiagnosis. They feel that the disease has not been diagnosed, and the negative diagnostic results. So they worry that maybe the doctor is not able to diagnose properly. Yes, definitely the disease is still there, but maybe the doctor hasn't done it properly. And there is a constant reassurance which is coming from the doctor that there is nothing, but still, in spite of the reassurance, the person will continue to think that the person has a serious illness, and they are constantly getting alarmed about illness, and whenever they hear experiences of people, something goes wrong or they are suffering from some kind of illness or disease, that worries them even more. And so the main difference, if you see, between the somatic symptom disorder and the illness anxiety disorder is that in the somatic symptom disorder, there's more of the complaints, more of the complaints about the physical symptoms. There is the constant complaining attitude. And in the illness anxiety disorder, yes, there is the complaining attitude here also, but it's accompanied by by anxiety, the constant anxiety. So anxiety is the main highlight if you see in the second disorder. The constant anxiousness is the main highlight here. Moving on to the next and the last one under this header is the conversion disorder. And in this, there is a reported loss of a part or probably some basic body functions, like the person can complain of paralysis, blindness, deafness, difficulty in walking, and these are some of the related symptoms which are reported. And again, either these symptoms can be felt after a very very stressful experience, or maybe all of a sudden the person can experience these kind of symptoms, suddenly becoming paralytic, difficulty in walking. So yeah, so the reason could be sudden occurrence of these, or maybe because of a very very stressful situation. So the person does report a loss of some basic bodily functions. This is what happens in the conversion disorder. So yeah, we'll begin with the dissociative disorders in the next video audio recording. Thank you so much.